Welcome Year 6 and welcome to the last week of remote learning. Next week we're going to be seeing all your lovely faces within the classroom. So this is the sort of last English project, and I'm really quite excited about this project because it involves, well, in fact, I'll tell you about it later on. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be answering retrieval, inference and summary questions. We're going to be doing our comprehension lesson today, and we're going to be using these magnifying glasses as well. Retrieval finder, inference former, they're the obvious ones. We've also then got, in fact, I'll do it now. We'll have, we also need that one, the opinion seeker as well. We're going to have a few opinions in there, but actually also, in fact, I don't know why I've not put them all on, but we'll also have the word selector in there as well. A couple of word selector questions, and also the summarizer is the sort of new one that we'll be doing as well. So these are the usual questions. How do we answer these questions? Well, the answer is somewhere in the text if it's the retrieval finder. If it's inference, we have to use those clues for us to come to an answer as well. But the summarizer is this new one. We've used it before in class. It's quite obvious what it means, but it's when we use the information in the text to quickly tell the reader what the text is about. So we're only sticking to the key points. We're not giving lots and lots and lots of detail and flowering it up like we would do in a story. We're just telling the key points to the reader. A good way of doing that as well is thinking around how many words we might use. So we did it last week where we said how many words, in 30 words, summarize this paragraph or this text. And quite a few of you there were counting out the 30 words, and that's what we'll be doing as well with this summarizer today. We're going to rewind to last week's learning. How many tons of plastic end up in the ocean each year? You've got A, B, C, or D there. Shout them at your screens for me. Shout, 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 shout. Can't hear you, can't hear you. Can quite hear you now. It is 8 million. Luckily, it's not quite 8 billion, because that would be insane, but we're not really, we're still going that way really. That is just going to keep increasing at the moment. Unfortunately, it's not 800 tons, it is 8 million. Next question there then, how many pens are thrown away into landfill each year? This was a shocking fact that we found out last week, and it was 1.6 billion. Unfortunately, not none, and unfortunately not 1.6 pens, but 1.6 billion pens are thrown just into landfill each year. And then a really upsetting fact that I found out last week as well, how many sea creatures are killed every year by plastic in the ocean? A, B, C, D, or E this time. Shout, 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 shout. Unfortunately, it is the highest of the numbers. It's 1 million sea creatures every year are killed by plastic in the ocean, and it's up to us to try and do our best to stop that from happening, to reduce those numbers. So today's comprehension then, what I thought would be quite nice, sticking with the sort of nature theme, we're looking at a step-by-step sort of set of instructions here on how to make a miniature garden. So I've put this on the PDF for today, but it's also on the screens if you want to pause and read it. I'm skimming. I'm gonna zoom out a bit here. There. So I'm skimming my text first, making a bit of a map of it. Here, what sort of section? Well, first of all, we've got the title here, haven't we? Telling us what we're going to be doing. Usually, how-tos are your instructions. Then, what is the first paragraph here? What could I probably call that? Probably an introduction, isn't it? It's probably telling me something to do with what it is I'm going to be making. It's quite obvious here, bullet points and things that I might need, and then quite simple, easy steps to follow step by step on how to make my garden. I've also got diagrams on there as well. So I've skimmed the text now. I've made a bit of a map in my head, ready to read and then make go back to answer those questions. So let's read the instruction together. Make your own tiny garden to keep indoors in a warm, light place. It's easy to plant and you can watch things grow. You can plant the garden in a flat flower pot, but it will still grow just as well in an old tray or a flat food container. Don't forget you will need to water your garden every 2 or 3 days. I'm also thinking like cat litter tray. If you've got one knocking about, you can use that as well. So things you'll need: a flower tray or food container / cat litter tray, small plants, moss, soil or potting compost, small stones, small mirror to make a pond, and water. Now, a lot of these things you'll be able to find in your garden anyway, like the small plants, the moss and stuff like that, you can find inside your garden. So that's why I thought it'd be quite nice little project that you might want to do as well. And then we've then got step by steps. Now, if you notice, I thought straight away these were going like columns, like down, but they're going side by side. So step 1, fill the tray with 2 centimeters of soil or compost, spread it out evenly, water the soil, but don't make it soggy. Put the mirror in the soil and press on it a little. Place small stones around the mirror to hide its edges. Quite a fancy thing to do there, pretending a mirror is a pond, isn't it? Make a path from small stones. Don't make them too wide because you need space to plant for the plants in the garden. Make small holes in the soil and carefully push the roots of a plant into each one. Gently press down the soil around the roots. So you're just going to drop your plants into those holes there. Lay pieces of moss over the soil and around the plants and press down on them firmly. And then put the tray where it will get plenty of light every 2 or 3 days. Check the garden and add a little water if the soil is dry. So quite a simple way there just to make this very nice, beautiful little garden that you can bring inside and take care of as well. Be interesting to see some pictures if anybody has done that, to post the pictures onto Class Dojo as well. A good little project for you to do with your mum or dad or dog or cat or wherever. Right, so now on to the questions. So I've put down here, now these aren't on the PDF, but I put them here are the type of question that they are to try and help you. So question 1, how often does it say you should water your garden? Question 2, give the meaning of the word soggy. Question 3a, what part of the garden is the mirror for? And b, why is the mirror good for this? So that's an opinion. It doesn't actually tell you in the text. It's down to you to tell me why you think it's good to use the mirror for this. 4, why is there a list of things you need before the steps on each page? Again, your opinion. Question 5, what does it tell you to fill the tray with first? Question 6, what do the stones placed around the mirror do? And 7, do you think you would find it easy to follow these instructions? Explain your answer. That's a big one. Explain your answer, not just yes or no. Again, that's your opinion. And then finally, the summary here at the bottom. Imagine you're tweeting how to do this activity. Summarize what to do in no more than 50 words. So tell me what to do in no more than 50 words to make this miniature garden. So have a go at that, and then the next thing we're going to be looking at then is the answers. So pause and then play once you've answered all your questions. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at the answers. Remember, no cheating. There's no point in cheating. I want honesty, please. So question number 1. Now I've put on here what we see as teachers whenever you do sort of comprehension thing, just so you know the sort of what we're allowed to give as a right or wrong answer. So question number 1 here, it says every 2 or 3 or few days when the soil is dry. So it's down to you to read what these answers are and decide whether or not you would be given a mark. Question 2, so it says make references to making something wet. So soaked in water, make it really wet. That's when it said about the soggy. Question 8, a reference to the pond. So what this word means, reference, is that you are referring back to it being made as a pond. Question B, refers to the surface properties of the mirror resembling water. So something like these 4 bullet points, because it shimmers like the ripples on the water, because it reflects things just like water, because it shines and you can see yourself in water and in the mirrors, because it looks like a pond, or because the water, if you were to use water instead of a mirror, would spill. So anything along those lines, you can give yourself a mark for it. 4, what was question number 4? I can't remember. Oh yeah, opinion. Why is there a list of things for the to-do? So to help you remember what to prepare before you make the garden. So something along these lines, so you can get things ready before you make it, because if you don't have a list, you could go halfway through and find out you've missed something. And because it's important to know what you need before you start. It says here, don't accept because it tells you how to make it, because these are the things you need. I'm not allowed to accept them as an answer. So it's making sure I'm prepared for what's to come. Question 5, either of the following, so soil or compost. That was the first thing in the tray. Question 6, answers which indicate that stones hide the edges of the mirror. So anything to do with you saying that the mirror, the edges of the mirror are hidden by the stones. And then finally, question 7, this is your opinion, wasn't it? Do you think they're easy to follow? Explain your answer. So question 7 here says, answers Consider aspects of the text or illustrations and explain how these contribute to the overall ease or difficulty of the instruction. So if you said yes or no, you're not wrong if you say yes or if you say no, but then you've got to explain your answer. So if you're saying yes because they're easy to follow because they put in easy to follow steps, yes because they are detailed, they're in order, yes because they've got illustrations and diagrams, happy days. And then if you put like no because you need lots of things and some of them will be quite hard to get, such as a mirror, or maybe moss or something like that, or something along the lines of no, because I haven't got all the things to make it. It doesn't say I'm not allowed to accept yes because they are easy. I'm not allowed to accept that. Okay, you've got to sort of tell me what are easy. Steps are in order and they are easy to follow would be a better answer. Okay, and then finally, question 8, because it's then your summary, I haven't got an answer for that. I want you then to send those to me so we can read your summaries as well. When you send your answers to me, give yourself a mark out of, well, 7, because you wouldn't have a mark for 8, would you? So give me a mark out of 7 as well. Make it obvious on your, when you upload your answers, what your mark is out of 7. Be easy for us then to put your marks down in our register for us. And I shall see you tomorrow to introduce you to the excitement of your last English project whilst you are at home. See you, Year 6.